This is a demonstration on how to connect a DwarPaal BLE module on a Acculock or MTech or BTech locks. So we'll take a look at how the lock is connected without the BLE module, just the normal operation. So on this side of the lock, which is the inside of the lock, the one that gets installed inside the door from the room, and if you see, there is a 2-pin male connector here. That is the battery. What happens is this guy goes into the female connector on the front plate or the front side of the lock. Okay, so this one typically goes into this. Like this. And if you see on this other side, you have a 6-pin connector, that is the card reader. Again, this side is the output or the outside of the room. So this is where you have the RFID unit. You show the card here, and this part is the reader connector, goes into this particular male. So this guy is a female, this one, if you see, it's a male. Okay, so they go like this. They typically connect to each other, and that is how the lock is connected in general. Okay, so this particular other wire, which is a male 2-pin connector here, okay, which goes into the other female here. Okay, that is for the do not disturb or something else that we are not going to worry about. Okay, so if it is connected, you can just continue to connect that. So this is how the lock is connected without the BLE module. Now let's look at how the BLE module goes inside. Disconnect this, disconnect this. Before you bring in the BLE module, there is a preparatory step. What we need to do is we need to look at this male connected here, male connector again, the 6-pin male connector. So if you notice closely, this male connector is nothing but a male connector snapped onto a female connector. So first thing first, we need to take out this male connector. Just need to hold on to the wire in this inner part and pull this guy out. See, so this male guy comes out, if you notice. Then now what we have is a female on one side and a female on another side. Okay, so that is a preparatory step before you can bring in the module. So DwarPaal would have sent you a BLE module like this already. This is the BLE module, small little chip, and this is the wire harness. For any given lock, we would have sent a lock harness that is compatible with your lock. This harness specifically is made for the Acculock or the MTech locks. Okay, so we are just going to connect this for this illustration today. So the way to connect this is, there is a 4-pin connector here. If you see this white little guy, 4-pin connector. So this 4-pin connector goes into the module. Okay, so let's connect that. Okay, make sure it snaps properly and it is not loose. Just pull onto the wires a little bit, making sure the connection is snug. Then what you do is you locate these black 2-pin wires here, 2-pin connectors here. So if you notice, one is a male, one is a female. Alright, so you pick up the female connector from this guy, and just like the connection previously, we need to connect the female to the male connector on the battery side on the actual lock. Okay, so now you connected the wire harness, BLE module wire harnesses female connector into the male battery connector. Now on the other hand, on the other side, you have a male connector available. So this guy would just go into the lock's female connector, which was originally going into this side. Okay, this guy was originally going into this side, but now we are connecting it to the wire harness instead of the actual back side of the lock. Okay, so if we can find a proper connection for this, make sure it snaps. Both these connections should snap. Okay, so what we have essentially done is we have taken one battery connection, connected to the harness, converted into 2 connection. Okay, so one battery connection is this one is going to the harness here. Okay, and the other connection continues to go to the reader. Okay, so we are good on the battery connections. Now remember, we had done a female to female connection here. Okay, so of course they will not connect with each other here. So enter this guy here now, which is a male to male connector. If you notice on the wire harness, you have a 6-pin male to 6-pin male connector available. Okay, both are male connectors. Now it might be confusing to see which one should go on what side, right? Because both are female, so you cannot just put one male into one and another on the other. There is a small little catch to it. You need to make sure very closely. This is an important step we cannot miss. Okay, so there is a black and a red wire on one side here. Okay, one side of this connector on this, right on this side right here. Okay, of course that goes into the black and red connector on the other side of the 6-pin connector also. Similarly, if you see this guy now, okay, so this guy also has a black and a red connector on the other side. So we need to make sure the male connector, okay, when you plug into this guy, the one on the black and red on the harness should align with the black and red on the lock spin. Okay, if the black and red do not align, we have a problem. The lock is not going to work. Okay, so now let's try. If we want to see the slots on this side of the connector, if you see there is a little slot here. Okay, this slot, that slot aligns with the slot on this guy. Okay, on the connector. So you can only put it one way. You can't just do it both ways like this. It only goes one way in. Okay, so if you see, if I'm turning this guy this way, that's the only way the slots will align on this side. Okay, so if the slots are aligning, make sure that you are able to see. If you connect it like this, the black and the red should connect with the black and red here. That's an important step. So I'm just going to bring it here and let's try to see. Okay, so this is not going inside, the slots are not aligning, which means you have a bad connection. So you need to switch, try the other side. It must work. Okay, now this is the way it is going inside now, this time around. So if you see, the slots are now aligning properly, and if I connect it, the black and red will connect to the black and red on the other side. So we are good to go to make the connection. Now the other side that is now open, without thinking much, just put it into the other side. Okay, it is gonna stick, and you can only put it one way based on the way the slots are arranged. So now we have a very nice connection. Okay, this is how the hardware part of it works. Okay, how to connect this BLE module. Okay, now that installation is complete, we will move to the app setup of it. Okay, so I'm going to continue that in the next video tutorial. This was only to show the hardware connection. Thank you.